Hello, my name is Andrew Perry, and today I'm going to be going over this assignment for my CSE 341 class. It's part of our API project, and this is week 2 for the contacts API that we've been working together. So last time we got the database running, the web server running, and we made sure we had our get method working. And so this, we're going to be showcasing our post, put, and delete. And post is for putting new information in the database. Put is for changing or editing or moving information. And then delete is obviously for deleting. So yeah, let's just get started. And I'm just going to go point for point right through this rubric here, because why not? Works pretty well. So first we're going to be showing off the documentation. So for this, we actually used Swagger, and I had never really heard of it before, but I just kind of followed the instructions, and it seems like it's just for API documentation to show people how it works. So let me go to our web service here, and then if I remember this address, API docs. There we go. And then this loads our API documentation, so you can see all the different methods here. We have our get default. It's just there's no parameters. Get contacts. This actually returns our contacts and has different codes here. Post contacts, and it shows the required information in order to post, and then the possible response codes. Same thing for get with an ID, so retrieving a specific ID, and then we have put here, and then we have our different codes, and delete, and yeah. So there's that. What's next on the thing here? Testable via API docs. Database is updated. Okay, so it actually wants us to test through the API docs, so let's give that a go. So first we'll go through our contacts, make sure this still works, execute, and there it is. Okay, so now we have this return here. We can copy one of these IDs. We'll copy the one for Joanna. Get contacts ID, try it out, execute, and we get Joanna's information here. Very nice. And I actually have some preset information, so I'm actually going to switch over to our test.rest file for the rest of this. So we have a person named Don Carlos, and we're going to add their information. And this is a nice little functionality because it makes it really easy while you're testing. And I even have other versions done here for the local server for testing purposes. But we'll just do it off of the web server, so that way you know that it works. We have our post, so we'll send a request here. And there it is, contact created successfully, and it gives us an ID. So we'll just copy that real quick. And then we can get all contacts, and here we see John, Andy, Joanna, Don, Carlos, there. Then we have our update contact right here, our put. So we'll copy that ID there from the one that we just made, the one that was returned. And then we'll send that request. It says contact updated successfully. So now it's Juan Don, and then changed his favorite color and his birthday. And if we go to get all contacts, we can see that we have Juan Don, whose favorite color is red, and whose birthday is in 1975 instead of 1905. So that's great. Then we can even, if we want to, post that same ID here on our delete. And then as we send request, it says contact not found, nothing to delete. Let's try that again. Here, one sec. Okay, so it looks like I think I might have double clicked or something like that. So I created a new contact, same name, went through the same changes, so edited it to Juan Don, favorite color red, and you can see that right here. And if we send a request to delete it, It says, there you go, contact deleted successfully. So that shows all that our different that all of our different methods there are working properly. And then for the sake of having 5 contacts as the assignment requests, I'm actually going to post a second time, and then we'll just edit this most recent one. So we have 5 contacts in our database for when we finish here. So let me put this in here in the put so we can change this. And request all contacts. We have John Doe, Andy Johnson, Joanna Williams, Don Carlos, and Juan Don. And just to double check, we can actually go to the MongoDB Atlas website, and we can refresh this page to see our information. So retrieving database lists and values, and there we go. We have our 5 entries here. Okay, I'm recording this real quick. This is actually after the fact. I double-checked the assignment. It says specifically to show that we have all 5 of our data points through Compass. And so I'm actually just going to do that real quick, and I'll just put this in later. So we have Project 1, contacts, and then again we have John Doe, Andy Johnson, Joanna Williams, Don Carlos, and Juan Don. All right. Video shows project functionality. I think we've done that. The contact collection in MongoDB contains at least 5 records that each have first name, last name, email, favorite color, and birthday. And I would say we've definitely done that for these 5. Sensitive information such as MongoDB credentials are stored in the .env file. And okay, so to show that again, because I showed it last time, but we'll do it again. We have our .env file, and here we have our port and MongoDB URI. And that's, of course, the information we don't want to share. And then in our .gitignore, we have node modules and the environment. And you can see here the node modules folder is also grayed out, meaning that's not going to be shared in Git on GitHub. And then, last but not least, proper MVC architecture is followed where routes and database access are defined as separate folders files. And yeah, so we have our database folder here with our connect.js file. This is where we establish our database connection. And then separate from that, we have our routes, which is our contacts. And this is where the bulk of the work for this assignment is in here. Index, which is unchanged from last time and just, puts a hello world out there if you just click on the page. And then our server.js, which is basically, I like to think of it as kind of like a connective tissue, or like this is what we actually execute when we're deploying the server. So this is what's actually putting everything out there. All right, and for the sake of time, I'll leave it at that. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something, and thank you for watching.